The NDP have a big plan for Alberta's beautiful countryside. They want to turn it into a graveyard for rusty wind turbines and leaky solar panels. When voting on Bill 27, that's the Renewable Energy Act, the NDP actually voted against a Wildrose amendment to make sure remediation and reclamation of green electricity projects were part of the law in Alberta. So you know what that means? Those wind turbines that will be popping up all over the place in Alberta will be abandoned once all the government subsidies dry up after the NDP are unceremoniously tossed from government in 2019. We know green energy can't survive without suckling on taxpayer subsidies, and all those green electricity companies being given those big incentives to move into Alberta to replace our cheap, reliable, unsubsidized coal will have no legal responsibility to clean up the mess they make when their wild ride on our money comes to an end. And the NDP made sure of it. Think it won't happen? It happens all the time. There are dozens of wind farms scattered around the western rim of the Mojave Desert. There are actually over 4,000 abandoned wind turbines in the area thanks to the wind rush of the 1970s and 80s, and that was sparked by massive government subsidies. And just like Alberta, there is no law to remediate any of them. Each of these wind turbines has a massive concrete footprint underneath it. Near Altamont, California, there are approximately 5,000 abandoned wind turbines, also the result of heavy government subsidies. All abandoned, and the smaller ones are especially good at slicing up birds, doing serious damage to native bird and bat populations. Now, then there's Solar 1 and 2 at Daggett, California. It was decommissioned in 1999 and it's still just sitting out there in the desert. Carrizo Plain was once the largest solar farm in the world, generating 5.2 megawatts at its peak. The plant was decommissioned in the 1990s, and it too is just abandoned out there in the desert. Now, for context, the Sheerness coal-fired electricity plant at Hanna that the NDP are going to close down is 780 megawatts of power. Now, all those solar panels are toxic, filled with toxic chemicals that can leach into the earth and into our water table. Now, let's compare this to oil and gas development in Alberta. Reclamation of the oil sands is mandated by law, planned well before any project is even born, and companies are expected to fork out for the costs of remediation before a project ever starts. That's the way it should be. And when struggling farmers hit hard by Bill 6 look for ways to pay the bills and supplement their on-the-farm income, they're going to the fake gold rush of windmills and solar panels. And who could blame them for doing what they have to do to stay afloat? And they won't realize they'll be holding the bag for the cost of tearing down the stupid things when the green energy company goes broke. Those farmers, they'll be dealing with those rusting monsters with concrete feet in their hay fields for decades. And here I thought Rachel Notley cared about the environment. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunreid. The carbon tax is killing the oil patch and it's killing family farms. Go to stopthecarbontax.ca and sign our petition.